Hey, welcome to the Fremont Frickers. John Kern sitting in for Tim Boulware tonight. And my camera guy and assistant is Nick Roth. And back at the WFRO studios in Fremont, Aiden Klein. And we have a good show here tonight. We'll start out with Jabrias Heidelberg, the St. Joe boys coach, followed by Corey Santoro, the Bellevue girls head coach, and then Bo Everts, the Gibsonburg girls coach. And seems like half of Gibsonburg's here tonight, so
Yeah.
I know the whole team's here and in our little game room. So come on out and enjoy, the special tonight. Nick, it's what, boneless wings tonight, right? How much? 79 cents. You can't beat that. So Nick and I, we like wings. And everybody likes wings, I think, I mean, how can you not like wings, So,
Especially,
right, so anyway, 79 cents for 10 big boneless wings, and that's a special for tonight. They also have specials on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well. Okay, so that's our lineup tonight. Before we get to Jabrias, we want to tell you that tomorrow night we have BGSU basketball. They play at Kent State. Pregame show at 6:30, tip-off at 7 o'clock. That's on Eagle 99. And then on the Wolf, our sister station, 92.1, it's the special edition of the Jake Diebler Show. He's the Ohio State basketball coach. And, Jabrias, I know Jake pretty well because when he was growing up, he grew up some of his years in Gibsonburg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his dad was a coach around different area, and he was at Gibsonburg for a number of years, went on to other schools. And of course, Jake is famous as far as records because he is the all-time leader of any boys player in the history of Ohio basketball in assists. Okay.
Wow.
And in three different schools, really, Gibsonburg, Fostoria, and Upper Sandusky, and they won a state championship. And his brother John is the all-time leading scorer in Ohio basketball history. And they spent a number of years in Gibsonburg. We used to do their games, and they were just little kids. And so brings back fond memories. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Thursday night, we have high school basketball. The Gibsonburg girls are here tonight. We'll talk to them later. They play Old Fort at home. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off. And then we have a game involving Jabrias' team, the St. Joe Central Catholic Crimson Streaks. You take on the Woodmore Wildcats for the second time this year, this time at home. Yeah. And so it's nice to, play a team that, you're competitive with the first time on the road, have them at home, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we have Saturday basketball on the Wolf, Clyde, and Norwalk in boys action. So let's get right to our first guest, Jabrias Heidelberg, 2019 graduate of Fremont Ross High School, played there, and we just were reminiscing. His dad, Joel, played back in the 90s and played on some really, really good teams. And so you've been exposed to basketball your entire life, right?
Yes.
I mean, of course, not only your dad, but others, influencing you for the love of basketball. How would you, talk a little bit about that?
Yep. Like you said, I just really I've been around my whole entire life, really. I stopped playing other sports when I maybe was around 7th grade. Mm-hmm. I've been playing basketball from AAU all year round, you know what I mean? So it's kind of new for me now where kids don't really play it so much, you know what I mean? But it's been my whole life. That's all I know.
You can tell the guys that really take basketball seriously because, they practice whenever they get a chance, mm-hmm. year-round. Going back in Ross basketball history, Greg Bender, who I know real well, good friend of mine, he's the all-time leading scorer in Ross history. That kid, when he was from 5, 6 years old up until in high school, he had a basketball in his hand all the time. And out, he had a basket in his house, and every time I go by, he'd be shooting.
That's what
it takes,
Yep, that's what it takes.
That's right. Just repetition and shooting, and
mm-hmm.
You go out there and you say, okay, I'm gonna shoot 200 free throws, or whatever. So, but our team having a little rough spot this year. But we were talking that, you have a win this year mm-hmm. over Danbury, mm-hmm. big win back in early January.
Yep.
Then you had some close games. Lost a tough one with Van Loo. The Woodmore game was relatively close. Close loss with North Baltimore. You could have had a couple more wins. Then you played a stretch of really tough teams. You Gibsonburg, Hopewell, Lakota, who's much better this year, New Regal, and of course Old Fort and Calvert. I think without a doubt the top two teams in the River Division.
Yep.
I mean,
definitely.
I don't think anybody can argue about that.
No.
Okay. Now you get a stretch where you got some winnable games, and guess what? They're all at home.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
you got St. Mary's tomorrow night. And that's always a rivalry
Yep.
game. And then Friday night you have Woodmore, and we'll have that game. If you can't make it, we'll have the game right here on Eagle 99. Then Elmwood on February 1st. So actually you got 3 games this week,
Yep.
all at home. And then next week you got Danbury trying to beat them for the second time. So this is important period. Have you stressed that to the players? Hey, we got a chance now, to before the tournament starts to get some wins
Yep.
and really, start playing better basketball, right?
Yeah, I mean that's all I've been stressing. I mean, obviously we take it one game at a time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like we said, that St. Mary's game, I feel like we could be competitive with them. But obviously it starts with cleaning up our little things. We've been struggling with turnovers and everything like that. But we clean those things up, we could kind of make it competitive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So St. Mary's tomorrow night. So for St. Joe fans or Fremont fans, come out and support the Streaks. Tomorrow night, JV start, now correct me if I'm wrong, at 5:30, I believe.
Yep, 5:30. Yep.
Woodmore on Friday night at 5:30. Elmwood, I believe, Saturday's at 5 o'clock, the JV. And then next Tuesday, Danbury, 5 o'clock JV start. So you have 4 home games
Yep.
in 1 week, basically. Yeah, so. And then after that, you got one more home game. But, this season is going along pretty quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, it's flying by.
Yeah, it's flying by.
Yes, it
We're
is.
almost in February, and now with the tournament beginning a little earlier than
Earlier.
usual,
Yep.
because it's going to be 5 weeks instead of 4. And now some people like it, some people don't like it. But
Yeah.
there's 7 divisions this year rather than 4.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a big change.
It is.
And what's your feelings about going to 7 divisions?
Like you said, I don't like the early start. To be honest, you know what I'm saying. I don't like the early start, and I'm really curious to how everything is going to play out. To be real, you know what I mean. How long it's going to take with the teams and everybody playing each other. I'm just curious to see how this is going to go and how it's going to work. When they told me that, I was in like, what in the world, But like, I'm just leave it up to them. You know what I mean? Just leave it up to them, and we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, you just tell us when and
Yeah,
where.
when and where, and we'll
play.
just play. Yeah.
Right,
So
but,
we'll see how it goes.
Well, it goes 5 weeks over the tournament because for the first time ever, they won't have the state semifinals and finals in the same weekend. They have them separate weekends, which is really strange. That's going to be something to get used to, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. It's always, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in Columbus or Dayton, and then you'd play the semis and the finals. Now with the 7 divisions, they'll play, in March, just the state semifinals over a few days, and then they'll go the next week and finish it up with the finals. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about your team here. Looks like you got some numbers here, and the roster I have right now includes the varsity and the junior varsity.
Yep.
Right? Okay, you don't have a freshman team, right?
Nope, we do not have a freshman
Okay,
team.
most small schools don't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just the way it is. Not enough numbers, but most of your points by 3 guys. And it's going to be Cam Daniels, played great this year, Ishan Brown, and also Sam Paith. And after that, the scoring kind of goes down. So I think about 28 of the 38 points a game with those 3 guys. But besides those 3, who else has been coming on and helping you out pretty good here lately?
Ethan Graw. He's a football player and he does it all. We got a lot of kids that do it all, but Ethan Graw has been really turning it on, and just not from the scoring wise, effort wise. You know what I mean? Wanting to guard the best player on every team, trying to hustle and get every rebound, diving for the loose balls. And who else we got on there? Drew Pearson has been a big key. Just being a gnat, being a smaller guard. I'm a little shorter myself, and being a smaller guard, I tell him just go out there and be a gnat. Go out there and fly around and try to cause some havoc. Owen Tooman has been a new addition to the team recently, like this mid-season. He's been coming in helping in the rebound and just the energy level. We got a couple guys, those 3 or 4 guys I named, just hustle guys, you know what I mean, that play a big role in bringing the energy and the effort into our team. Luke Jenkins is a great shooter. Once he's hot, he could get it going, and that's on me and the coaches, obviously, to get everybody going and start getting them them roles as we get in this last stretch of the games.
I don't have the roster with the heights, but I know your team is struggling with rebounding, and you can't coach height, obviously, but what have you and your coaching staff done maybe to help with that rebounding?
Just telling guys like I think people or younger kids tend to forget like hit them early. You know what I mean? As soon as that ball goes up, I'm not trying to look for the ball. I'm finding my guy first. You know what I mean? The first thing I'm looking for is my guy. I hit him, turn, and then I'm looking for the ball. Just putting big emphasis on that. Just the basics of boxing out and trying to get it turned around. Because like you said, you can't coach height, but you can coach the proper things to do the box out.
Yeah, for sure. So next up will be Corey Santoro just came in. That's for you, Coach. So we'll get you on about 5 minutes. So, all right. So first time this year for Corey, and I think this is your second time, right?
Yep. It's my
Very
second
good.
time.
So
Yep.
maybe we'll have you on one more time before the season ends.
Yep.
But we got 3 more shows after this, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But, so how about your JV team? How's your JV team? I know you got a lot of young players.
Yeah.
Pretty much all freshmen and sophomores.
Yep.
Or?
We have one freshman, rest all sophomores.
Okay.
So, and that's what I was big on, not creating a JV and just varsity. You know, I bring everybody up just because of that. They'll need that experience here soon, coming in the next year. You know what I mean? They'll need that experience, and I just don't only want them to play JV basketball.
Got some wins for the JV team this year?
Yep.
Good.
I think
All
they
right.
3. I think they got 3.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, very good. Again, 4 home games. So St. Joe fans, take a note. If you want to watch some good basketball, go to the St. Joe gym. And it's always noisy. I remember that. You know, always set up in the balcony, and always exciting atmosphere there. But your opportunity to watch 4 games in 8 days?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll go over that schedule later on one more time. How about your assistant coaches, not only for the varsity, but for the junior varsity and maybe even to the junior high or middle school?
Yeah. I love the staff that I have. I really do. Adam Bulger, Chris Hurt, Demetrius Brown, and Brandon Graw. They're a bunch of passionate guys. You know, Adam Bulger was my coach at Ross when I was freshman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
right.
for him to be assistant with me now is just a full circle experience, really.
For
but
sure.
the coaching staff I have, they come in every single day ready to work, no matter what our record is, no matter what's going on. They come in ready to put in work and do new things to get the team going. And far with the junior high and everything like that, this coaching staff is amazing too. You know what I mean? Teaching basketball the right way. I go to the games. I don't even have to say nothing too much to them because they know the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just sit back and watch good games when
That's
I
good.
go.
I've heard coaches say that before, a few, that, you don't have to, get up and yell and scream all the time.
Yep.
Because, if you work hard in practice, they should know what they're doing.
Yep.
And maybe you offer advice, during timeouts,
Yep.
but go from there. But, Jabrias, hopefully you'll have some wins here,
Yep.
in this stretch.
That's the
You
goal.
have
That's the goal.
7 more games this year before the tournament. And then you have 4 in the next week with St. Mary's tomorrow night. Friday night, Woodmore. We'll have the game for you on the radio. Elmwood on Saturday night, and then next Tuesday will be Danbury. So best of luck on those
Thank you
games.
so
And
much.
I know Nick will be out there on Friday night along with Tim Boulware
Perfect.
to bring you the game if for those who can't make it. And just one more question as far as the tournament coming up, Division 7. Do you know what district you're going to be in? Or?
No, I don't know what district yet. No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
We'll sort it
Yeah.
out. I know within a couple weeks you'll know,
Yep.
the seatings and the pairings and all
everything
that kind
like
of stuff
that,
like
yeah.
that. So, and again, it's going to be a little different than it has been in the past. I know there's some districts that will have 2 sectional games for some teams. Some will have 1, and actually there's going to be some sectionals. I think it's Division 1 and 2 that will have no sectional games. They'll go right
Wow.
to district. So
Yeah.
it's different.
Well, like you said, just tell us where and when we'll
That's
be
it.
there. You know.
All right, very good. Jabrias Heidelberg, thanks very much for stopping by. Best of luck in your
problem.
4 straight home games coming up. So let's
Thank
see if we
you
can get
so
some
much.
home cooking
Yep,
going
thank
and
you.
get some wins, okay?
Yep.
Thanks very much. Okay, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back and talk to Corey Santoro, the head basketball coach for the Bellevue Lady Red. We'll do that after this. You're listening to the high school basketball coaches show here from the Fremont Frickers on Eagle 99. Bowling Green Frickers. So shout out to Frickers. They have on Monday nights, they have boneless wings. 79 cents, right, Nick? 79 cents. Okay, real good. That's a good deal for 10 big boneless wings. So that's the special tonight. They also have specials on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well. I'd like to welcome in for the first time this year Corey Santoro, the head basketball coach for the Lady Red from Bellevue. And, you know, the older I get, the less I remember how many years coaches are. So many, what's this year you for coaching for Bellevue?
This is my 20th year overall, but my 11th as a head coach.
11th, okay, 11th year. Yeah, see, I could have guessed about that, but, you know, earlier in my career I'd have known that, but, you know, it kind of – so another great season. Of course, Bellevue always had great basketball, and this year 17-1 overall, 7-1 inside the Lake Division of the SBC. And hard to believe, Coach, there's only 4 more regular season games, huh?
Yeah, this season's went by extremely fast, but to finish up, you know, we feel like we got 4 championship-type games to finish up the season
definitely.
with, and then you head right in the tournament. So we're excited with the remaining games we have, and looking forward to it.
Actually, I got to see you on a Saturday afternoon against Margaretta. That game you won 44-39. That was when, you know, the fourth quarter, you know, not a lot of points in that game. You took care of the ball real well and got down there and made your free throws. And that was a game where you missed some free throws earlier in the game, but you hit them all at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess you got to hit them when it counts.
That's
and
right.
I thought we did that. And, you know, we get down toward the tail end. We like to take the air out of the ball and force teams to foul us and win the game at the free throw line.
Yep, that's what you did that night, that afternoon, 44-39. And Nick and I, we sort of like the afternoon games. I know the boys are starting to play some afternoon games too, and sort of like that on Saturday. You get home early, and you know, you're not out real late. So we got some other games coming up here, but. You know, besides that win, I know you had a tough loss at Norwalk by 3 points, 41-38. Your only loss of the season so far. But, you know, you played Clyde, and, boy, everything went good that night, won that one. We had that game for you. And then you had a little break where went down to, I think, how many years? 25 years now for the Classic in the country?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yep. It's something like that. It's
Yeah.
been around for a little bit now, and it's, you know, it's a great basketball tournament to be part of.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed playing there this year.
Yeah, every year during the Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, there's, I think, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I think there was 23 games this year. So if you like girls basketball, go down there next year and watch a lot of games, you know.
Yeah, the intensity is, you know, our girls felt that, and we got to go down there all day Sunday and watch games and just get them kind of used to the environment they're going to play in, and they were excited. They could feel the energy and everything we were kind of telling them before trip. They exactly said the same thing. It was a definitely intense environment. And
yeah. So won that ball game over Strasburg Franklin. Thing about down there, there's all divisions, not just the bigger schools. It's all divisions, small, medium, and large, right?
correct. You got some of the best talent down there playing, some of the best teams in the state playing. So you can't take for granted you're playing because every game is going to be a grinder.
No, for sure. So it's always kind of an honor to go down there and be invited. I think you have to be invited, right?
Correct.
To get that.
Correct.
So,
We got, I think, invited back in the summertime, and we were fortunate to make some things work. And so hopefully we're hoping that maybe we get another invite back next year.
that'd be good. So I've been down there in the past as well with not only your team, but with Clyde, and I think Fremont Ross was there once, maybe Margaretta. So we've been down there, you know, broadcasting, not for the last few years, but it's always kind of fun. And they always had a lot of great food down there, you know. So.
Oh yeah, the noodles are the best. Everyone talks about them. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So you're down to the final 4 games, and you have some toughies. I think you'd want this. You know, you're going to get ready for the tournament the right way, because tomorrow night at home you have Shelby, who is 16-1. You're 17-1, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, how about a few words on Shelby? They're like you. They always have a great program and very solid.
Yeah, year in, year out, they've been, I think, the 7th straight league championship for them. They're always well coached. Naley does a great job with them. They're very disciplined, fundamentally sound, and they're going to play hard, and we know that. And it's, like I said, we feel it's great to have a type of game like this heading into, the tournament and our last game against Norwalk, so we feel really good about our schedule way it's set up.
Okay, so after Shelby, you have another home game against Perkins, and Perkins at 7-10, but you can't take a team like that lightly. They always come to play.
No, I mean they had a new coaching staff, and I think they're still trying to learn her system and what they want to do. So yeah, you can never overlook them, and they got some good players. So that's a game you can never overlook.
That'll be Friday night, right?
Correct.
Friday night at 7. So that'll be a game at home against Perkins, and then next week on the 4th, you play at Margaretta. You played them once at home. Get them this time on their turf. They're 14-4 right now.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to get that scheduled a couple years ago. They didn't want to do it at first, and then they agreed to do it the last. This will be the second straight year we got to play them twice. So I think it's a great rivalry, home and away. We've been two of the top teams. Seems like the last several years. So why not play two games?
Yeah, usually the Lake and Bay will play just one game each, but two for you guys, which is good. And then the biggie, the final game of the year at home against Norwalk, your only loss all year. And we're going to have that game for those who can't make it. We encourage everybody to go to the game. But if you can't make it to the game, 92.1, the Wolf, our sister station, will broadcast it. And that's an afternoon game. Should tip off around 12:30, 12:45, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so, Norwalk at their place back on the 4th of January, won that one 41-38. So how about a few words about Norwalk? I know it's, you're looking right now for Shelby, but what's the biggest obstacle to get past Norwalk?
Well, I think, when we played at Norwalk, we probably shot the worst we shot all year. We to be honest with you, we shot 23%. And you're not going to win too many games shooting 23%, but to be in a game with 3 points and shooting that bad, we know what we need to do. We know what went wrong. But we don't like to look ahead. We got Shelby tomorrow. That's the most important thing.
That's a big one. Yeah.
That's a big one. And then Perkins and Margaretta. But I know it's in the back of the girls' mind. We're going for our 15th straight league title. Whether you win it or share it doesn't matter as long as you get a piece of it. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us before that game.
All right, let's talk about your team real quick. Some of your top players, a few words about each. Haley Reese leads you in scoring, about 14 points a game.
Yeah, and she was our leader, our go-to. She's been our rock for the last 4 years. She's averaging a little less than she has the last couple of years, but I just think we've got a well-rounded team now. We've got a lot of girls that are contributing in different ways, and I just think we got a lot of weapons. But that's a good thing.
Oh, no doubt. And then, with the height inside KT Turinsky, averaging about 10 points a game, and a lot of rebounds. I don't have the rebound totals, but it's last time I checked, it was probably the tops in the league, right?
Yeah, she's averaging close to a double-double. And again, she probably could, per points, are down a little bit, but I just think that's because we have a nice freshman class. The sophomores are stepping up, so it's just different. But she's a force. I really do think she's one of the top defenders in the state, just with her blocking ability, the way she alters shots around the rim. She's just a phenomenal player, and she'll be playing at the Division I level here in a couple years.
But CJ Savage, about 8 points a game for you.
Yeah, and she's been a pleasant surprise. She was a girl that we had high expectations for last year. She got injured halfway through the season and couldn't finish out the season, and came back. She's close to a 6-foot guard who just has if you look at a picture perfect shot, she's that type of kid, and she can really stroke it.
And I've only seen you once this year because I'm still part-time, but getting into retirement. But Audrey Turner, I think she was our player of the game against Margaretta, but she impressed me as a real go-getter, a real hard-working player on the court, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, Audrey's been a 4-year starter for us also, and she just, and one of our captains, we call her a gamer. She gets in practice, she's like, what the heck you doing type of things. But when it comes in the game, she makes plays. And she makes all the hustle plays, all the little things that you don't get put in the newspapers, but she's that type of kid.
Well, I think, you had to make your free throws down the stretch against Margaretta, and you did. And she's one of them that made those free throws, I think, at the end.
Yeah. And she realizes it too. As being a 4-year starter, she knows how important that is.
Yep. How about Ellie Freitag? About 7 points a game.
Yeah, she's our point guard. She's a sophomore, and she's really come on strongly. She really grew from her freshman to sophomore year. But she was our starter last year. She had a game where she's had 25 points, and she's had some games where she scored 15 and 13. But she's a really pass first type of point guard. Wants to get everybody else set up, and then she's great on the kickouts. So yeah, I'm really excited about her too.
Well, I can't mention everybody, but how about a few other players that I didn't, those 5 are kind of your starters usually, or
CJ, she's our first girl off the bench.
Off the bench, okay.
Yeah, but Brooke Brown's another captain.
Yeah, Brooke on there.
Star, she can shoot it. She's not shot like she did last year, but in practice she's hitting shots, and she just her last 2-3 games she's starting to come on. She led the area in 3-point shooting last year, above 40%, hit 55 threes. So she's capable of doing that, and she's starting to do that, so we're excited about her. And then we have another freshman come off the bench, Maisie Gracemeyer, who gets a lot of playing time and is very, very athletic and does some good things for us. And then Bailey Nichols is another physical player who's just starting to come on too strong.
All right, very good. Let's talk about your junior varsity team. Just a few words, how they're doing as far as wins and losses, and how they can, help out.
They started out their first 3 games. They lost the first 3 games, but have won every game since then.
Oh, okay, so on a
they're-
roll.
Yeah, and it's made up with a lot of freshmen. It's we'll be counting on next year to help us out. Very solid. We've had a very solid freshman class.
That's good. We're talking here with Corey Santoro, the head basketball coach, 11th year at Bellevue for the girls. And one more thing before I let you go is you can't do it by yourself. So how about a word about your assistant coaches?
Yeah, Coach Troy Stamm, he's been with me from the beginning. He knows the system very well, knows what we do. He's very good. He's very good with the girls. So he's been with me from the start, and blessed to have him. And then Coach Mike Strayer is our JV coach. He came on 4 years ago. He does a great job with our underclassmen, and he helps out with the varsity. So I'm blessed to have 2 guys like that in my corner.
That's very good. I know tournament times, right around the corner. I think this coming weekend you're going to have the draw, or how's that work? I know the seating has come from kind of automatic, don't they? Or
Correct.
on the computer?
It automatically tells you where you're going to pick in that order, and then you got to pick your spot on the.
Do you still meet, though, in person, or not really?
Last couple of years has been on online, Google Meet.
Gotcha. All right. So, and you're Division 4, right?
Correct.
Division 4 out of 7. I know this, and I'm still getting used to this. For many years, of course, I'm old enough to remember it was only 3. So it was 3, then 4, and now 7. So it's going to be 7 state champions instead of 4. But what district will you be in?
We're in the Northwest District. We're with Clyde, Perkins, Shelby.
I don't have my sheet that lists where they're at. So
we'll be. Our Bucyrus is our district, and the
Bucyrus,
regionals I think is in Norwalk.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, but that's down the road a little bit. Again, your focus on Shelby tomorrow night, Perkins Friday night, next week Margaretta and Norwalk. So 4 big games for the Lady Red before you even think about the tournament. So
that's correct. Absolutely.
Very good. Well, best of luck, and we'll see you then on a week from. You see, the 8th is what day? What day is the 8th? That'll be Friday night. Is that a Friday night? Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon, Norwalk, and we'll have that game for you if you can't make it on our sister station, 92.1, The Wolf, WOHF. All right, Corey Santoro, thanks very much for coming in. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks for
okay,
having
real
me.
good. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, and we'll talk with Okay, welcome back to the Fremont Frickers, our final segment. Last but not least, the Gibsonburg girls, who are having another fine season, 11-4 overall, 11-1 inside the SBC River Division. We're here with head basketball coach Bo Evarts, and how many years now? 3?
This is my 6th year, really.
6
We're not,
now?
yeah.
3. Jeez,
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said nothing. I go, don't say nothing.
I know I look so young, so I know. some
No,
people
it's
get
not that. I
confused.
just time
thanks.
goes too fast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, but anyway, another fine season here, 11-4. You know, I noticed one thing I like is you schedule. You know, you're a smaller school, but you schedule the bigger schools.
Yeah.
You know that helps you out, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have Norwalk this year, Port Clinton, and then we went to a tournament up in Anthony Wayne, who played Notre Dame Academy out of Toledo, one of the better Northwest Ohio teams.
They always have been good.
So, yeah, and then we got Ottawa Hills later, which they're not big, but they're still a good program. So we do that to get ready for the tournament. Where our number one goal is to win the league first, but then we know that district final, we would like to get to the regionals again and playing those better teams. Even though we might not win them, it puts us out there in the situation, and we know what it's going to take. So I think it helps us in the long run.
Teams that do play a tougher schedule, especially when you're small and you play, the larger schools, the good larger schools, that it does help you down the road,
Yep.
and including the tournament,
Yeah, and
especially
absolutely.
the tournament.
Yeah, and honestly, the first Norwalk game, it was a close game in the fourth quarter. And in Port Clinton, we didn't shoot well. We shot like 3 for 36 in the third, but we were very competitive in both games. Last year, we played Bellevue, who's one of the bigger schools, and we were tied with 3 minutes to go in the game against them. So we've had. And it didn't look good, and we found a way to win. I think those games early in the year when we're playing, Norwalk and Port Clinton, those kind of prepare us for that moment, and we pulled that off, and here we are.
Yeah, talking about Norwalk and Bellevue, those two teams will play in I think the end of next week for the SBC Lake Division Championship. That's pretty good. So let's talk about what's coming up, because tomorrow night, right? You have
a big one tomorrow.
The probably the biggest game of the year. Of course, for coaches, the biggest game of the year is the next one you play,
game,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. We always tell them not to overlook, but we got to this point now. We're both 11-1. They beat us by one at their place, and we weren't too proud of how we played there. We thought it was a Saturday afternoon game, wasn't quite as the atmosphere wasn't there. We didn't really step up, and they beat us. They legit beat us. So we're looking to get a little revenge here. And the only bummer is we had a really great crowd last year in this game, but our boys played tomorrow at the same time, so we're like a little disappointed in that. But we just whatever shows up, we're hopefully it's a good crowd, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. And I think we're gonna do all right.
What time's your JV start tomorrow night?
5:30, and then we'll start around 6:45 probably.
Okay, very good. That's Danbury at Gibsonburg.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's for the division championship yet, but it could determine which one of your teams will win it.
It'll go a long way if whoever wins that. It'll go a long way.
Well, you still have some games. You have Old Fort, Lakota, St. Joe, St. Mary's, and Woodmore yet. So you have several division games, but this is a biggie for tomorrow. So let's talk about your team, because we're going to talk to a couple of your players tonight, your seniors, and Elena and Ansley. Of course, your daughter Ellie leads the team again this year in scoring, about almost 23 points a game, and you got some other players that Fleming has 6.5, Jividen 5.8, Dawson 5.6. So, how about a word about your players? Maybe we can start with your two seniors.
Yeah,
We're going to have one, but let's start with them.
They're the glue to this team. Elena and Ansley have been here in the early years when we struggled a little bit, and then they just seen every year we've gotten better and better and better, and part of it's because of their efforts and what they do. Ansley's just a great leader on and off the court, and this year has done a great job, and especially the last few games has just done a great job of controlling the ball, and her shots been much. She hit 4 threes the other day and looked great doing it. Elena, from the moment she gets on the court, she doesn't stop. She usually guards the other team's best defensive player or offensive player, and then she rebounds well, and she does a lot of little things you don't necessarily see in the points like 2.3, but she knows how to play. She's smart, and she's a great kid overall, which is you take that any day. This whole team, this is by far one of the most enjoyable years, and whether we win or lose a lot of games, it's just a great group of girls, as you can kind of tell just being here how they get along, and It just makes it more enjoyable. But yeah, definitely those seniors is where it starts, and then from there we go anywhere down there. Like there's some juniors like Taylor Rapp and Emily Henderson, who've done a great job this year. Same thing, they're both post players that have gotten a lot of rebounds, and I know Emily's had double digits. She had a couple double doubles this year, and in big games, so she's getting the experience. And then we got, like I said, you got Ellie. Ellie kind of controls what happens in the game at first, but then these other girls know they have to be ready, and then she'll find them, and she does a nice job of that. And even Emma Jividan, like you said, she's averaging 6 points a game. She's a nice shooter when she's open, where you let her shoot. Ava Dawson's a freshman that comes in there and she started the year, she was shooting like 55% from threes after like 10 games, and she's gone a little bit lower lately, but the fact to be a freshman to come in and do that, it says a lot about her.
Okay, very good. So got a great group of kids here.
Oh, yeah.
You still have several games to play, 11-4, that's 15.
Yeah.
So you got 7 more games,
And,
and you got to do that in 2 weeks.
It's 12 days, we have 7 more games.
Yeah, so you're going to be, if you want to play basketball, now's the time, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Before I forget it, because I asked the other 2 coaches here tonight about their assistant coaches, because you can't do it by yourself. So who's assisting?
I have a great staff. I actually a little family involved too, because my brother and my sister joined the staff this year. But Aaron Stout, he's here today. He's my offensive guru. He sees the game so well, and he makes us such a better team just by what he does. I have assistant coach Troy Erie, who's been there from the very beginning when we won 2 games to now, and he gets the girls motivated, and he's always he knows what to say at the right time. And then I have a coach, Emily Miles, my JV coach, Emily Clark back in the day at Gibsonburg. She's done a great job, and she works in the post a lot. And she's a Gibsonburg girl, and she played college basketball, so she knows what she's talking about. And then I have my sister Erica, who actually was a softball coach at Gibsonburg when they won the state championships back in the day.
Sure.
Erica Foster at the time.
Foster,
but
yeah.
not Montgomery. That's my sister, and she's on our staff this year. She actually coaches my 4th grade or 5th grade team, my 6th grade team, and then she helps with the varsity team. And my brother, who's sitting right behind me, he's at Port Clinton. He coaches tennis at Port Clinton and does a lot of things there. He's come on board this year to help out. So it's just been fun. When you trust your coaches, it goes a long way. And there's a lot of practices where I'm just kind of monitoring things while they're working with the girls, and it's just been a very rewarding to have them all on my staff, and every one was very valuable.
Okay, before we talk to Elena and Ansley, how about a quick word on Danbury again tomorrow night at home?
Yep.
What's their pluses, offensive and
Yeah,
defensive?
they're very well. They have 5 seniors that start. That right there, that experience. I think the last game when it was a 1-point game, we were down the entire game. We finally took the lead with 20 seconds left, and they went down and scored again. That's that senior leadership. So those 5 seniors, that's the number one thing. And they also have a great point guard who just sees the floor very well. Our goal is to kind of limit her, but she gets the ball, she goes, and she makes good decisions. So if we limit that, but like I said, when you have that senior leadership, that's tough sometimes. But I think our girls were pretty prepared. We're ready to go. We didn't like the taste of the loss the last time, losing by 1 point at their place. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to come down to probably a few possessions, and we got to do a better job. I know last game they out-rebounded us by about 15, 20 rebounds, so we can't have that this time.
Got to work on that, yeah.
So they're experienced. They know what's going on. They're well coached. So we're going to see, but we're pretty confident going tomorrow.
All right, Coach Bo Evarts, let's get Lena and Ansley in here, and we will talk to them briefly. We'll have one sit here and one sit where you are, and I'll ask easy questions.
Right.
I think that's what they're afraid.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach. All righty.
Okay.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah. All right, so we're going to, I'll let you get your headsets on here. So you're the lucky 2 that get to talk here, and get the mics fairly close right here to your mouth. You can move them around. So 2 seniors on this team, and we're going to talk to both of them. I have to talk to number 4 because I don't know which one's which. So number 4 is, you're number 4? Okay. Oh, you know what? It'd be better if I turn your mic up. There, that's always good. Then I'll turn this up. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so on the roster, number 4 is Elena Molter. And Elena, we'll talk to you a little bit. What position you play on the team?
I'm a post.
Post player. Okay, very good. And I'm sure you've been playing for Gibsonburg since what, 7th grade or before that?
6th grade.
6th grade. All right. So you've stuck it out. Not all players make it to senior because, life happens. things happen, and I think it's kind of neat when you go all the way to your senior year and you complete your senior year. And there's some teams that don't have any seniors. Okay, some have more. But so for you two, you made it all the way here, and you've had some success last couple of years, and this year 11-4. And I'll ask you, first of all, tomorrow night's biggest game of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Danbury, you want to get a little revenge because at their place you lost by 1 point. And that was a tough loss, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think you had the lead, Coach said, with 20 seconds, and then they scored. But, this could be for the division championship. I know you have some more games to play, but it's possible. So big game tomorrow night, so we encourage all Gibsonburg fans to head over to the gym. I think the JV game starts at 5:30, and your game around 6:45 or so. So what's Coach been talking to you about this week about Danbury and what to look out for?
They've been focusing on talking to us about doing the little things right, like rebounding, taking care of the ball, trying to make sure to limit our turnovers and that kind of thing.
Okay, very good. So then we'll talk now to Ansley Fleming. I said your first name right?
Yes.
Good. Okay, just want to make sure. So you're another senior in this team. We're in number 11. What position do you play?
I'm a guard.
You're a guard. So guard and a post. Okay, very good. So, again, have you been playing since sixth grade as well?
Yeah.
And you guys have been good friends since sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
Of course, with Gibsonburg, my dad went to Gibsonburg. My wife went to Gibsonburg. I didn't, but, sometimes I wish I did, because it's a great school, I think, and great community. And so always good in basketball. And these last few years have been pretty exciting, haven't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I ask you about tomorrow night because biggest game of the year with Danbury. I'm sure everybody on this team is ready to play tomorrow night, right?
Yes.
Okay. A few more words about what it's going to take to beat Danbury because they're pretty good. And Coach said that they have 5 seniors on the team, so they have a little bit more experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Okay, we have to get her to talk a little bit more. So, okay. You want to help? No, I'm just kidding. So. Anyway, so what's your role on the team? With the 2 seniors, is there captains? Are you captains, or don't they have captains?
Yeah, we're captains.
So both captains on the team. Okay. So how do you help out the younger ones, especially the freshmen and sophomores?
Well, we usually run through plays, and sometimes it can get confusing because we have quite a few. So you just kind of run it through them with them, making sure they understand everything and just set a good example for them.
So you're almost like an assistant coach in a little bit, right?
Kind
At
of,
times,
yeah.
when you're out there, try to help the younger players out, and it usually works out because they take your advice, hopefully, and then you can see them getting better. So have you noticed, both of you, that some of the younger players on this team have improved a lot since the beginning of the season?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in what ways?
Like they've just got better at finishing their shots, and they've got good at knowing when to do certain things, like go back door, or just they're seeing things better, I think.
Okay, and maybe not being a little bit more patient, maybe, is that
Yes.
got brought up? Because sometimes younger players will kind of rush things, and that leads to turnovers, and you don't want turnovers, right?
Right.
So, and, sometimes it's not easy. You're out there, you're ready to go, and then you get a little bit too anxious and turn the ball over, or you make a bad pass or something like that. But that's what it's all about. You want to correct things from the beginning, when you start out your practice in November, like early November, or maybe even October, and here we are at the end of January. You should be better. And as a team, I'm sure you guys are confident that your team's better than when you started practice.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
for
good.
sure.
All righty, very good. Well, you have 7 more games, but Coach said you have a lot of basketball coming up because you have Danbury tomorrow night. Thursday, you have Old Fort. Saturday, Lakota. Then next week, you have back-to-back. I think it's, what's the third, Monday? Monday's third, you play St. Joe. Tuesday, Ottawa Hills. And then I think, again, Thursday, St. Mary's. Who made that schedule? And Woodmore, I have to talk to Brian Jackson, the athletic director. That's too many games.
That's a lot of games, yeah.
And then Woodmore, it's like, and then you have to get ready for the tournament. So, 7 games in 2 weeks. Geez, that's like more than the NBA plays, I think, So, but you'd rather play games than practice, right? Or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I always
I
did.
would.
Yeah.
I always rather
for
play
sure.
games and practice, but
Yeah.
but tomorrow night's the big one, and then you got Old Fort Lakota, St. Joe, Otto Hills, St. Mary's, Woodmore. Then you get into the tournament time, and we'll see how that goes. I think next Monday we'll find out who you play and where you play. And I think Coach is pretty sure you're going to play that first sectional game at home. So if that's the case, that's always good because in years past, even the sectionals were at a neutral site, but now sectional games are at the home of a higher seed, and you'll be the higher seed. So that's important, right, to play that first game at home. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
That's good.
So, and last year you had a good tournament run, and we're hoping to follow you here on the radio. Now, last year, unfortunately, we didn't get to cover you because, being the Fremont station, we had to follow the Fremont Ross girls, and they played every tournament game exactly the same time you did.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for that, we'd have had you on the radio, but every time that you played, Fremont Ross played, and they went all the way to the regionals the last 2 years, so we had to kind of follow them. So it was at the same time, too. And I go, how does this work out? I said, it was a Tuesday night at 6, and then I look, Gibsonburg was Tuesday night at 6, and then the next one is, so they matched up. So this year maybe we can get you on the radio for some of your games and go as far as you can. Getting to the regional is a big deal, because that's the final 16 in the state. So you have any final comments, anything you'd like to shout out to anybody or anything, or are you good to go?
Just we're glad that we're getting such a good experience and we're growing as a team.
All right, very good. So that's a few comments from Elena, and then anything from Ansley? No? Okay, that's all right. It's not mandatory. So, ladies, thank you very much for joining us here, and we enjoyed having Gibson. We always do because whether it's football or basketball, we always have the biggest crowds every year from Gibsonburg. Of all the teams that we cover, it's always Gibsonburg. It always has the biggest crowds, so. And even Fremont, so that's good. All right, very good. Thanks, ladies. You can go back, and you may still have to eat your dinner here, so I'm getting a picture. All right, very good. Okay, thanks very much. I appreciate it. All right, and good luck tomorrow night against Danbury. All right, very good. Okay, that's going to be about it. Nick Roth, did I forget anything, Nick? No, I'm good to go. So I got within a couple minutes at the top of the hour. Just a couple reminders that we'd like to thank tonight's guests, Jabrias Heidelberg of St. Joe Central Catholic, the boys coach. Corey Santor, the Bellevue girls coach, was with us. Bo Everts, the Gibsonburg girls coach, and then we had the two players on, Elena Moulter, Ansley Fleming. They were with us for a little bit here. Back at the studio, Aiden Klein was our producer engineer, and Nick Roth, our video guy, and my assistant here at Frickers. Just a reminder that tomorrow night we have BGSU basketball as they play at Kent State. 6:30 pregame and 7 o'clock tip-off. And then on 92.1 The Wolf tomorrow night, we have the Jake Diebler Show. And he was a Gibsonburg guy, too. Ohio State basketball coach from 7 to 8 p.m., usually on Monday nights. But tomorrow, since Ohio State's playing tonight, the Jake Diebler Show will be tomorrow night. And they also will play Thursday night, Ohio State on The Wolf. They play at Penn State. The pregame at 5:45 and the tip-off at 6:30. Eagle 99 Thursday night, we have Old Fort at Gibsonburg in girls play. Couldn't do the game tomorrow night. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off for that one. Friday night will be Woodmore at St. Joe here on the Eagle in boys play. 6:45 pregame. Saturday, Clyde at Norwalk on the Wolf. That's an afternoon game, 2:15 pregame. On the Eagle, Saturday will be BGSU basketball at Central Michigan at 6:30 with the pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off, and then Ohio State again will play on Sunday, February 2nd, on the Wolf. They play at Illinois, 12:15 pregame, 1 o'clock is the tip-off. And that's it. John Kern saying so long. Thanks for tuning in and watching in here. Thanks to everybody who came out, and thanks to Frickers for being a great host as usual. Next week, Kyle Knight will be here at 7 o'clock for the high school basketball coaches show. This